All right, so here we go. Moved over here. So we were just on the other live on my phone, but apparently we're having audio issues, so I'll jump over here. So we'll give everybody a chance to join in, and we'll go from there. What up, Eric? See, that's the problem. Everybody got too spoiled with the good lives. I can't even go on the phone now. What's up? How's it going? Mr. Sanchez. Not too bad, man. We just hopped over from live stream in the garage. We're going to just do it here in the office instead. I guess I got to get a new phone. I was already planning on getting a new phone, but you guys just confirmed that my phone is no bueno. Where's the Hellcoda? Hellcoda is in storage at the moment. And then we will resume it once we finish moving. So we'll give everybody a chance to jump on the new live. We were just on the other live and it was no buenos. So it looks like we've got 9 people in here. We'll let a few people more join in and then we'll get cracking. Eric says hit the like button. I know, I agree. 11 people in here so far, 5 likes. Let's get those numbers up, boys. Get some more people up in here. Chris says, are you moving to the East Coast? Maybe. We kind of discussed that on the other live before. I guess we were having some audio issues. But we have a few options on the table. Either we go to Florida or we go to Texas. Kind of the two that are on the radar. I like Arizona too, but Arizona's pretty much almost the same price as California. There's not really any cost benefit to moving to Arizona. Frank says, what's your thoughts on the 21 Ram 1500 Gen 3 EcoDiesel? It's pretty similar, to be honest. It's got the same issues. The only difference is the fact that if you bought a 2021, you would have full factory warranty. So you got that going for you, as long as you got a decent dealership that can actually put the warranty through for you. But yeah, I think they're all kind of have their own issues. Evan says, what's your favorite rig at the moment? Evan, do you mean out of like my own vehicles? Or what do you mean? Or do you mean like trucks? What do you mean by favorite rig? I'll answer your question based on some of your feedback. Alright, so we got a few more people jumping up in here. We'll kind of plug along and then we'll keep going. Chris says, I'm in Florida, Tampa Bay area. Yeah, that's kind of the area I was looking at. I know there's like Bradenton Motorsports Park or whatever. A lot of people go over there. I'm just wondering like how many different events there are. It's kind of the one, there's like pros and cons to each state. Florida, you don't have to deal with, smog and all that stuff. Whereas Texas, you have to do smog and you have to do like a inspection every year. So it's like pretty annoying in that sense. And then there's I feel like there is a lot of car events in Texas, but I haven't seen as many events in Florida as I do see it in Texas. But Evan says, out of your own vehicles, it's hard to call a favorite. Probably the Viper or the Hellcoda. A little bit of both. It goes by the day depending on whether the Dakota is giving me a headache or not. The Viper's always been, something I've always wanted since I was a kid. So it's hard to argue with, not picking that one. But yeah, it'd be either the Viper or the Dakota. Eric says, you got to watch those hurricanes, bro. Yeah, I mean, this is the way I was watching some, successful entrepreneurs and give their take on it from somebody that's, multi-millionaire or even, I don't even know if he's a billionaire, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen some of his stuff. Patrick Bet David. He makes a lot of good investing and business content on YouTube. But anyways, he was saying, because he lived in California, he lived in Texas, and then he ended up moving to Florida. So he's currently in Florida. And the way he said it was, he said Florida was kind of like if Texas and California had a baby. That's the way he explained it. He said you get the freedoms of Texas, but you get like the beach and all that stuff and the warm weather from California. So that was his interpretation. And then he also said at the same time too, every state, whether it's California, Texas, or Florida, you're going to have some sort of natural disaster. You kind of just have to pick which one you want to deal with. He said California, you're going to get earthquakes. So, and he said the one thing about, hold on a second, let me continue. So, California, you get earthquakes. Texas, you get tornadoes, and if you're in the southern part, you get, hurricane issues and flooding. But then, so that's the main, tornadoes and whatnot, and hurricanes, I guess, could be Texas. And then Florida, he was saying you get hurricanes. So if you're going to have to pick a natural disaster, earthquakes, tornadoes, or hurricanes, he goes, earthquakes and tornadoes, there's not really any warning system for them. It's like, especially earthquakes, it just happened out of nowhere. And tornadoes, there's not really much of a warning. There's sometimes you get a little bit of warning, maybe half an hour warning, but those things can also change direction, so they're kind of unpredictable. Whereas he said hurricanes, if you're picking a natural disaster, at least hurricanes you get like days of warning. Hey, this thing is coming through. Here's where the path is coming, and you can choose whether you want to stick around and fight it out or not. But the other two, earthquakes and tornadoes, you don't really have the choice, so you don't really have any warning system. So I thought that was an interesting opinion or take on that situation, but it is true at the same time. Chris, sweet deal, man. It would be cool to meet you in person with the Hellcoda. Yeah, I'll probably be, I'll definitely be visiting Florida right after this too. So, like I said, I'm going to be traveling around once we kind of wrap things up over here. But we'll see. I'll definitely be out that way. Steven says, so I have a 4.7 in my Ram pickup. Would a 5.7 Hemi fit in my truck with the mounts? Or no, would I have to cut and weld new ones? I'm not I think it probably uses the same mounting system. I've never had to run into that. Maybe somebody else knows. I think all the frames should be the same, but you never know. Raul says, Raul, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but where can I buy merchandise from Boosted Motorsports? I should be able to, here we go. So I can actually, depending on what you guys are looking for, here we go. So in the comments, I just put up, this is one of the more expensive sweaters. There's different ones. I have cheaper ones too, depending on what your price point is. You can get like a t-shirt for like 20 bucks, but here's our premium hoodie. You should be able to see it in the comments. That'll take you over to Teespring's website. We got a bunch of stuff. We got Dakota stuff. We got a bunch of boosted stuff. I'm gonna making some new gear here once I finish moving. It's just gonna be hectic next few weeks, but I do want to make some new merch here pretty soon. Donald says, no major weather. Oh, Oregon, no major weather or emissions. Beach is close. Forest all around. Mountains and desert are like 2 hours away. Yeah, the only thing is I've dealt with living in the cold. Not that Oregon's that close, or Oregon. Growing up in Canada, I'm just over any sort of cold or winter or frost or any of that. I'm over it. So I'm staying in the southern belt for sure. Mopar Gaming, North Ridge was fun. Donald says, but we get rain. Yeah, you get rain up there too. I just over the cold. I'm just staying in the south. No one knows. Says, hi, what's up? Chris, at least we have time to prepare for the hurricanes though, right on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Crack says, are you moving out of SoCal? Answer would be yes. Christopher says, what's up, John? So what's the plan with the EcoDiesel? Can we expect Cummins content, please? No one has detailed diesel stuff. Always wanted to learn more about them. Yeah, probably looks like that's gonna be the end situation, is getting a 2500 Cummins on here. I don't know when that'll happen. Like I said, my hands are tied the next few weeks with all this move stuff. So I'm going to be focusing on that. For now, the EcoDiesel still works. But yeah, and I'm hoping kind of prices kind of normalize a little bit. The prices are just outrageous right now. The other thing too is like, you can't really, and I wouldn't really want to risk it, doing any like a lot of those like diesel channels and diesel performance shops and all that stuff, they're really cracking down on those guys. So I don't think I'm necessarily like, that's the problem. Is like, even if I got a 2500, I could show you guys maintenance and stuff, but as far as like the fun stuff, I wouldn't even want to touch any of that stuff with all the guys that are doing deletes and tunes and all that stuff. That's just risky business, messing with that stuff. They do not like seeing that stuff on YouTube. Matt Stang, what's up? Matt Stang has made it. WRX, yo, I need your opinion. I have a 5.2 318 that stalls out when driving normal. I replaced the map, idle air control valve, the throttle body, cleaned out the throttle body, and replaced the air filter with no luck. I would definitely check, like, what about, see, never mentioned, spark plugs or wires or distributor. Because if those things are not in good health, it probably still wouldn't run that great. Matt Stang with all the emojis, what's up? No one knows says, want is there hurricanes coming? I don't know what you mean. What do you think it could be? Yeah, I don't know. I think I just answered that one. Darren says, hello, John. I just got in. I hope I didn't miss much. Good to see you. Yeah, what's up, Darren? We tried to do a live stream in the garage, but my phone is brutally old and I'm about to get a new one, so it seemed like we weren't having good audio, so we switched back to in the office. Motivation says, would a 12 valve Cummins fit in my 1977? I mean, anything can fit if you got a sawzall and a welder and a grinder, but as far as dropping in, I don't know. No one knows with the political statement. I don't even want to say that word because I swear YouTube is just all over that stuff. The greatest, what is it? The most popular president in history? Let's just call it that. Christopher says, did you quit your job or are you working remotely still from Texas? No, I'm 100% YouTube right now, so smash that thumbs up. Let's quit being stingy. We only got 14 likes and 35 people in here. It means you guys aren't smashing the thumbs ups. But yeah, I'm doing YouTube full time right now, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but it is what it is. I'm still having fun with it. I just got to keep the fun builds coming and we'll be okay, I think. So just going to relocate. That way I'm not all crammed in that garage because we're kind of outgrowing that space. And we'll see where we end up. Victor says, greetings from EPT. I don't know where that is. Quick FYI, the DEF is cheaper at the pump than at the install. Yeah, true, but I mean, that truck doesn't even really use any DEF fluid. So since I purchased that truck, I've only put in 4 of those little crates. So, I mean, I'm not even complaining about that part of it. Henry, how's moving going? Stressful, I bet. Not yet. I've just been getting organized. So I've just been getting organized, as I mentioned in the other live stream, like getting organized, getting rid of stuff that I don't necessarily need. There's a lot of stuff that I could bring with me, but I'm just trying to minimize just the clutter and sell stuff that I don't need or throw things out or whatever I got to do, just so that I can be like, okay, I got to bring this stuff, and then I can start packing into the trailer and we can start moving some of this stuff. Crack says, I really just stumbled upon your channel. I saw the Hellcat swap on the Dakota and literally became such a fan. Really hope that you get the exposure you deserve, man. Binge to all your videos. Oh, damn. Nice. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, man. Thanks for the support. I just been, we've been just cranking out content, so I guess it's only a matter of time before YouTube kind of catches on, but I've just been trying to do my part and make it as interesting and fun as possible. I think I'm kind of excited for the next adventure because the next place I get, I want it to be a little more open space so that I can actually, move around a little bit more. Both have, in the shop and just in and around the property. Like, I think it'd be cool to just have like a bit of land. Nothing too crazy. That's like catch-22 is if you move to a place that's got a ton of like land too, then you gotta mow it all. And that just seems like a headache that I don't want to deal with. I don't want to like have to mow like 5 acres. It just feels like it'd be wasting all my time just with property upkeep. But something with a little more space than this, with a shop and all that's what I'm trying to get into. Crack says Trump 2024. Chris says, give this man a thumbs up. Yeah, we got almost 40 people in here and 29 thumbs up. So that's another good reminder to give me one of these. If you guys are liking the content and all the builds we're doing. Donald says, thanks for all the old 5.9 vids. I just got my dad's Grand Cherokee 5.9. Good condition. Gonna redo the motor and make it a 5.9 RT. It deserves to be. Nice. Purnell says thumbs up. I agree. Christopher says congrats, brother. Glad YouTube took off for you. I'm glad to sponsor this channel. Sold a Durango, but love the content, and my son does too. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Yeah, I'm just doing this full time, so like I said, kind of nerve-wracking, but it's fun at the same time, so I enjoy it. Helps to, you know, like and enjoy what you do, right? Always does help. Frank, will you do a Elephant engine install in the future? I don't know. Those things are, I guess, a few things. Those things are stupid expensive for one, and two, they're hard to come by too. I don't know if they, I know they sold out of the initial run of them, but I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know if they're still available, I should say. What do you do? Been a fan since trying different builds on the RAM. Thanks, man. Mopar Gaming says, love the 360 content. Right on. Yeah, I guess we did a lot of 360 stuff, and then we kind of moved on to the Hemi stuff again. No one knows. Says, what's the difference in an eco diesel and a regular diesel? I mean, it's just the name that they gave it, because it's just gets good economy, so they just named it eco diesel, but not really any difference in function. It's just an efficient little diesel engine, I guess. Adam says, would you rather be, oh, here we go with the crazy question. Would you rather be attacked by a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I think the 100 duck-sized horses sounds a little more entertaining for sure, right? Having a bunch of little horses that are the size of ducks just ripping around. I'm going to go with B on that one. Henry says, hit the thumbs up, people. Yes, sir. Darren says, I'm trying to find your video of you talking or taking first electric fan out and putting a second one in when you still had the 5.9 Magnum Dakota. I found every electric fan video except for that one. Any help? I'd have to probably go digging the same way you did. I don't know. I don't know where that one is, actually. It's got to be somewhere in there. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. But let me know. Try to keep digging, I guess. If you can't find it, I would have to go through the same process as you, is go through all my 5.9 videos until I found it. JP says, met you at Mo Party. Love the projects. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Eric says, any recommendations on a rear diff cover for the Ram 1500? I have the B&M one, so I would say go with the B&M one because it also has the carrier bearing support. Actually, yeah, I'm glad you asked because a lot of people bring this up. I would, like, not just because they're a sponsor, but I would legitimately say go with the B&M one for a few reasons. It's not the flat back one, so that's the big controversy these days is a lot of those upgraded differential covers, they have the flat back, and so the oil can't get slung properly in the differential to lubricate everything, whereas the B&M one maintains the same round shape inside the cover so that the oil can properly sling around. And then it also has 2 supports for the bearing caps as well. And it's got a drain plug on it too, so when you go to do your service intervals, you can actually drain it properly. I guess the newer Rams have a drain bolt on them too, so you don't necessarily have to use the B&M one, but it gives you that option. You can drain it on the cover and fill it. And it's also got magnetic drain and magnetic fill, I believe, on it too. So I would definitely vote for the B&M one. Plus, it looks pretty trick too, and you can get it in I think you can get it in black powder coated or in polished. Where are you moving to? So, kind of the top 2 choices at the moment are Texas and Florida, but we're gonna kind of we're gonna go out on the road and kind of explore a little bit and see which one makes the most sense once we wrap up here. No one knows says, what gave you the idea to Hellcat swap to Dakota? Yeah, I get asked that question a lot. Like, why would you do that? So, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, we're trying to make the Dakota go fast. So we did a bunch of Magnum mods to the 5.9 Magnum. It wasn't really that fast. We ended up supercharging it, blew up in a week. We ended up doing a cam, intake manifolds, exhaust, all that stuff. And it was still a turd, so I was just kind of disappointed with it, and I didn't really feel like blowing up another Magnum, trying to make it, trying to make a 400 horsepower Magnum. It just seemed kind of weak to me, so I was going to go Hemi swap, and then I figured if we end up going like a 5.7 swap, we're going to end up putting a blower on that, and by the time you start adding up all the math on that, I figured let's just go Hellcat. So yeah, that's how one thing led to another in a nutshell. James says, have any ideas? I have a 2004 Dodge Dakota windshield molding peeling. Yeah, you can sand those down. So those are only held on with a few screws, and you can sand them down and then just paint them black or whatever color you prefer. Eric says, I do like the bigger B&M one. Cool, good looking out. Yeah, no problem, man. Frank says, Jacksonville, Florida. Taxes higher in Texas. Taxes in Texas. I know. I heard that. I heard somebody, I don't know if it was a rumor, but I heard somebody saying that taxes were going up in Florida as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's what I heard. So, yeah, lots going on. If you guys have been watching the last few days or, videos this week, ended up picking up one of those draggy things. So, we're going to go ahead and start doing some stuff with that. I just finished doing a bunch of maintenance on the SRT10 so that we can play around with that thing. And I think the lift is getting picked up this week. The lift is sold. So I'm just trying to, I was trying to get a bunch of maintenance stuff done on the SRT10 today. So changed every single fluid again on the SRT10. If you guys watched that old series, we ended up changing all the fluid on the SRT10 when we were in Canada, and then drove it all the way down here, and I haven't touched any of the fluid since, so I just want to get all new stuff in it again. Let's see. No one knows says, good luck on the move. Thank you, thank you. Robin Hill says, hi from Kingston, Ontario. What's up, Robin? Frank, nope, just market is crazy due to low interest rates. Yeah. Yeah, I think the market, I mean, certain areas, there's still high demand, but I think, because even in Southern California, even though, a lot of people are leaving California for whatever reasons, whether it's, too much regulation or whatever, there is still a lot of people moving into California that are dealing with other, bigger problems, whether they're moving from, Washington south to get better weather, but, not have their city on fire completely. Not saying California is, amazing at the moment, but there's other states that have bigger problems than California too. So there is still a lot of people moving to California, and then there's also still a lot of people moving around California. Like maybe they live downtown LA and they want to move, to Orange County or something like that. So the housing markets was still pretty hot, in SoCal, but it's kind of, I don't know, kind of crazy what's going on right now. So, because I know a lot of people are still moving around, but we'll see. I guess when we go to purchase over in Florida or Texas, wherever we end up, one of the two. I prefer the weather in Florida. That's the only thing. But so my biggest thing is I'm finding a lot of properties like the style of place that I like. I'm finding them in Texas, but I prefer to have the Florida weather. So that's kind of a toss up that I'm with. Let's see. Just keep in mind that Texas, our property taxes are tied to appraised value of a property, so it's always going to go up. Yeah. I don't know how that works in Florida too. Whether it's just on the sale price, like whatever you purchased it for, or whether it's appraised value. Because I know that's definitely a big kicker in Texas. Their property taxes are pretty crazy. It's how they generate their state income because there's no income tax. Chris says, looking forward to the draggy vids or hits on the rigs. Yeah. No, that'll be fun. I don't know. I'll end up doing it with the SRT10 and do it with the Viper and stuff, so should be pretty cool. Eric says, what's faster, SRT10 or the Viper car? That is a no-brainer. The Viper car would destroy the Viper truck any day of the week. Like, you could let the Viper truck get a head start, and the Viper car would still demolish the Viper truck. It is just absolutely no comparison. And then I know your next question is going to be why. It's all about power to weight. Like, the Viper car is so much, it's like 2,000 pounds lighter than the Viper truck. So just that power to weight ratio, the car is, like, I'm not even exaggerating, it's about 2,000 pounds lighter than the truck. So you really feel it when you're in there. RT says, however, here where I live, the actual tax rate is going down. Fort Worth. I was actually looking in that area too. No one knows says, what got you into cars? I just grew up racing dirt bikes and snowmobiles and stuff, and then when I got to the age where I was able to drive and stuff, I just started tinkering with cars, and that's what led us to today. Florida weather and Texas local, you're going to like either South Padre or thereabouts. I don't know where South Padre is. What's South Padre? I almost have to Google that. I do not know what that is. I'm a noob when it comes to some of these areas. Let's see. I'm putting it into Google. South Padre. Here, let's put it up on the screen. I know everybody else is probably going to be wondering too, maybe. Let's see. You guys ready for some Google action? Let me just switch it. Alright. South Padre. So here's South Padre Island. Where the heck is that? Let's see. This is off of like Houston? Well, I don't think I want to be on an island. Let's see. Where in the freak is that? Holy moly. No, I'm not trying to do that. That's way out there. Especially, like, not to make this political, but with all the stuff going on with the border, I don't think it's necessarily too desirable to be right by the border. But yeah, like Houston's here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me see. Yeah, I have to move it up on the screen a bit. So like Houston is there, and then this South Padre thing is like Houston's there. South Padre is like way over here at the border. That's too far, man. That's way too far. Way too far. I don't think I could do all that. Let's see. Mopar Gaming says, just moved from SoCal to Northeast Kentucky, and I'm loving it. SoCal sucks. Yeah, that's where my buddy Steve's trying to get me to move to is Kentucky. He's over by like Nashville area, like just across the, I guess, state line or whatever. Eric says, makes sense. RT says, that's the coastal part of Texas. Yeah, that's too far down there. That's way too far down there. I kind of want to be, I'll probably, if I was going to do the Texas area, I would probably be like, I don't know. I don't want to say Austin because it sounds like too stereotypical to be going to Austin like everybody else is, but I wouldn't want to be like in Austin, but maybe like, because Austin's kind of like halfway between Houston where it's like dead ass heat versus Dallas Fort Worth gets, you know, a little bit cooler in the winters, but Austin, I feel like it's kind of like a midway point, but maybe somewhere, you know, 40 minutes outside of Austin, somewhere kind of in the countryside would be cool. No one knows says, my man, you're so close to 100K. I know, I'm trying. It's a grind, but we're trying. We're almost there. Texas Doughboy says, San Antonio is in the middle of everything. Yeah, that's another option as well. Darren says, hey, I just found that video. I hit the little magnifying glass on YouTube and typed in your small E fan to the bigger E fan, and there it was. Okay, awesome. So you found it. Ronald says, hey, John, how you doing? What's up, Ron? Pretty good. Just hanging out with you guys on a Friday. Frank, Jacksonville, stay away from Tampa. Hurricanes kill that side of Florida. Really? I thought it was always the the East Coast that was always getting hammered with hurricanes in Florida. I never really thought that Tampa side really got too much issues. RT said, between Austin and Dallas, you have Hillsborough or Waco. Yeah, Hillsborough I saw was kind of a smaller town or whatever, but there's some, like, watch, let me see for a second. Maybe I can show you guys some of the potential things I was looking at. Might be fun. Let's see. Let me just open something up here. Where the heck are they? Well, that's super old. I was laughing. I just opened up my little Zillow search thing. Here, let me show you guys some of this stuff. I'll show you guys some of the stuff I'm finding. It just depends. Like, I'm not trying to spend an arm and a leg, but I'll show you guys some cool stuff. Okay. Why does this look so funny? Let me see something here. This window looks a little crazy. Hold on. No. Let me try to make this more reasonable so you guys can actually see what the heck I'm looking at. Let's see if that kind of brings everything into view here. Okay, I think we're almost. There we go. Now everybody can kind of see what I'm looking at. Okay, so these are just some of the things I saved that I just thought looked cool or whatever. Obviously, I'm not trying to spend $1 million, so the least amount I can spend, the better. But here's some different stuff. So I found, like, check out this one. So this one's in Fort Myers. Not really like my number one pick, but I'm just looking at stuff just to stay amused. So check out this one. $475. It's got both of these. So you get the 2-car garage on this side, and then you get like this huge 3-car garage on this side. So like this is pretty cool. So it's got like that, and then it's got all this shop space, and it looks like you fit like at least 6 cars in that. So that was kind of a cool one that I found. But it's hard to find that type of property in Florida. So like, for example, this is out of my price range, but just as an example. So this one has like one of those big RV style garages. Got a pool in the backyard. The pool's looking a little sad if you ask me, but so it's got like, hopefully you guys can see it. It's got like this style of garage and shop. So it's got like the 2-car on the one side, and then it also has like a long, hopefully you can see, it's got like this long area where you could actually park an RV, and it's got the higher ceiling. So if you put a lift in there, you could go all the way up with the lift, which is what we want to do for the next location. But again, that's out of my price range. But then you go over to like, there's different places in Texas that have like this kind of thing. I can't remember exactly where this one is located, but there's like a lot of these style properties in Texas, which is cool. So you get like a nice house, and then you'll get like a huge shop on it. So you guys can see there, like pretty decent looking house, whatever. It's got like this back cool patio to hang out, and then you guys are probably, along with me, interested in this piece. So this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's still pretty cool. It's got like a huge shop already on it. So this is what I'm trying to do, is get something like, here's the backyard, you can see the big shop. Like I'm trying to get something like this where it's already ready to go for us. I'm trying to see if I saw any other ones that are of interest. There's been a bunch, but see, this one's pretty interesting too. Like this one's cheaper than the last one I just showed you, but it's the same thing. It's got like that big RV garage. So here's in the garage area. So it's got like this huge RV parking section, which we could put a lift in, and we could work on our stuff. I think I prefer obviously to get the one with the shop, but you can see how just massive that freaking RV garage is on the side of the house. I'm not really too bougie on like the house portion of it. I don't really care about having a ton of living space. Like 2,000 square feet, like I'm good. I'm not trying to like live in a castle or anything. I just want the garage space more than anything. And you can see I've been looking in Arizona too, but Arizona's pricey. Like, here's something I found in Arizona, but like you can see right from the forefront, like it's got all like dirt driveway and everything. So I don't want to, like, having nice cars. It kind of sucks to be driving across dirt all the time. But these ones are like way out. Like you have to be out in the middle of nowhere to even think about getting something decent. This one's got all like horses and whatever, horse little sheds or barns or whatever. Here's another Arizona one I saw. It's got a pool, which obviously it'd be nice. Inside's whatever. What was the other thing I was going to show you guys? Yeah, this one had space, but it didn't have, like, it only had a 2-car garage. But that thing just looks like a box to me. But you can see how, like, it has potential. Like, you could probably build a shop on something like this because it's got all this land over here. But let's see. Let's see if there's anything else cool that I was looking at. There's other stuff. Like, this one was kind of cool. Oh, it's pending now, but Cape Coral, so it's got 3-car garage. Inside looks super nice. Got a pool in the backyard and a hot tub. Let's go! So that's kind of cool. But that's the problem. So the issue I have when I look at some of these Florida places is like, okay, yeah, it's got 3-car garage, which is what we have now, but they don't have a lot of property around them. So to try to find like a place to, like, I don't know where we would park the trailer in this situation. Because that's kind of the issue with a lot of these Florida places, is they're not on a lot of property. This one looks, I can't remember. I've saved so many, I can't even remember which one's which, to be honest. I just kind of saved stuff that looks cool, but. So like this one, I think I probably looked at the bird's eye view and was like, alright, I could probably park the trailer on the side here, but again, only 2-car garage and not enough room to have a shop, so. Nice looking house for sure, but doesn't really check off all the boxes. So that's kind of the issue I'm having. That's why I haven't made like a definitive choice on a lot of these yet. Just because it's hard to find something that kind of checks off a lot of boxes for us. Let me take a quick scan, see if there's anything else that I saw that I want to show you guys. There's been a bunch of cool properties, I'll be honest, but look at this thing. Oh, I want to show you guys this. This is definitely not in my price range whatsoever, like $16 million, but check this thing out. This thing is insane. I just saved it because it was cool as heck as a car guy. So I'll check this out. $16 million in Scottsdale, Arizona. Like, this thing looks fake. Like, check this thing out. Let me see if I can move this around for you guys. I don't know why it's being kind of funny. Let me just, close it like this. It's probably easier. But like, look at that. Outdoor TV with fireplace and all the stuff, but yada yada. But I mean, here's inside. Inside looks nuts. But let me show you guys the cool part. I'm just gonna scroll real fast for a second. But like, this looks like insane. But once we get to, look at this. So look at all these garages, like the whole, I don't know if it's a whole level or floor, but look at all these glass cases with garages, and he's got like an, I don't know if you guys can see that, like an engine just chilling there. Oh, there you go. I could probably show you guys the pictures a little bit better like that. Like, check that out. I don't know if this is just like all like CGI or something, or they just staged these cars in here, but like, this is insanity. Look at that. He's got like a little garage with like a little toolbox area. Like, check that part out. Some of it looks a little too fake. Like, I think these cars are just CGI. But either way, this property is nuts. Like, all these race cars and like just the ability to have all those on the first floor. Like, I don't know. I think that's crazy. Let me switch over to you guys in the comments for a second. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. Catch up to you guys. Let's see. RT says between Austin and Dallas, you have Hillsboro. Yeah, I answered that one. No says look in Kaufman, Texas. Just don't eat the subway. I know, seriously. Hector, north of Austin, look into Gerald or Salado. I'll be eating a lot of salads in Salado. Temple or Belton is nice as well. All right, I'll take a look. No one knows says there's a diesel shop called Napa in Kaufman. Frank says I paid $350,000 for 5-bed, 3.5 bath, and over 3,000 square feet with a huge backyard. Yeah, I'm sure you probably didn't pay that within the last year or so because prices are nuts right now. Matt says Florida is far away from everything, really. Yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of motorsports events out there too, but I mean, for example, like when we were in Kentucky, it was pretty much a wash. It was either 12 hours back to Dallas or back to Texas, or it was going to be 12 hours to go over to Florida. So it was almost the same. Ronald says, nice, buddy. Upper Florida near Gainesville is nice. A lot of properties with workshops and race shops because of the track in Gainesville near Big Daddy. Or I'll have to check out that area too. Eric says that shop is sick. Matt says I would find some land and do a barn dominium. Yeah, I'm not trying to like live in my. That's one thing I do know is I would never live in like a barn dominium. Not trying to be like whatever, trying to sound like a girl or anything, but being in like I don't know, like if you were just gonna store a car, but even still, like just all the fumes and stinks and all that stuff that comes off of a car. Like if I'm out in the garage and I'm grinding on some metal or something, like my garage stinks for, a couple of days. So I wouldn't want to be living in that environment, especially like, just the smell of oil and grease and all that. I wouldn't want to be like living. I know they're like obviously going to be separated, but that same air is still going to be under one roof. And I just don't want to be kind of living in that same airspace, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, the other thing too is I don't want to necessarily like build something because we gotta relocate and we gotta just get straight back to work and get working on stuff. So I don't have time to like build some sort of dream house or something like that. And I'm not even there yet, but I just want to get something where we can just move. Even just setting up the new workspace, even if there's already a shop on it, is gonna be work in itself. So I just want to get moved into something and get cracking again. Chris says, anything you can afford with a huge garage. Exactly. Have you heard of Omi and a Hellcat? If not, look him up. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's going through a lot of legal stuff. I don't know what's going on with him lately, but John says, so I showed my wife your stickers. She took mine and put them on her EcoBoost for escape. That's awesome. Matt says that's way down in Tampa. I thought you wanted to be close to all the race venues. I would look at Northern Florida. I don't know. I'm looking all over the place, to be honest. Like I said, wherever I can find something that has what I want with warm weather, that's what I'm doing. John says, here in Florida, you got to make sure that there is no homeowners association. They're strict here. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye out for that. Texas says, get you a double-decker shop on the bottom and living area above. I've seen that here in Texas. Yeah, that's kind of like goes along with what Matt was saying about the barn dominium thing, but not really big on those. Chris says, you're absolutely right. Let's see. Ricochet says, yep, we're building a barn dominium. So Ricochet's on board with the barn dominium. Frank says, I closed in June of this year. Oh, that's not bad. Where did you end up buying your place, Frank? Because it sounds like you got a good deal, $350. Even still, though, I mean, just the amount of the places have gone up from like the earlier this year to even now. It's just like things are going up like over $10,000 a month. So Daniel says, do you think it's a good idea to buy a property and build a house? If you're asking for me personally, my opinion is no, because I gotta just that takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and with building costs right now. So with all those things factored in, for me personally, I would say no. For you, maybe if you have time and you want to deal with that project, and then some of the expenses with all the supply shortages and price of lumber and all that stuff going up, it just sounds like a headache. But I'm just looking for something that I can move straight into and just get right back to work, and we can keep filming and keep on our projects and focus on what matters instead of trying to build something. But that's just me. Matt says understandable, true on the barnuminium. Yeah, like I said, like some people might not like. If you were just gonna buy a car, or like you were gonna have like kind of like a museum type thing, like you were gonna just park a bunch of cars and you had your attached barndominium. But like when I'm like working on stuff and I'm welding or grinding or doing all that stuff, like I just don't want to be swimming in those stenches. The owners of Nape's son has a 6-second 1500. Nice. Frank says Jacksonville. Okay, so you're a little bit further north. Yeah, I guess I could take a look at some of those areas, see what's up. Chris says, I'm heading off here for the night. Look forward to the next update video. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. We'll see you and have a good night. Reggie with the Mopar says, have a subscriber meet. Yeah, I think we're like pretty soon we're going to be getting to that level where we can start throwing some meets, and I think enough people will be following that we could start doing that. Plus, like if I'm in like more of an, like right now I'm kind of a little bit remote, so once I like live near one of the major cities, I'm sure I could actually throw a meet and stuff like that. It'd be cool too. So I'll definitely be doing some of that stuff once we grow a little bit bigger, and once I'm kind of in a city where more people are following from that city, or at least the surrounding area. Matt says, yeah, good idea on moving straight into it with a pimp garage. Looks like you have found some good ones already. Good luck finding the right one. Yeah, it's a lot of work trying to find something that's the right one, and then just even trying to be competitive on your offer is like a whole nother story. So it's gonna be a lot of fun moving forward for sure. Do you plan on buying a Hellcat car? Yeah, I do want to get one. Like I said, once we relocate and stuff like that, I'll probably end up getting something like that. John says, good night, everyone. All right, thanks, John, for tuning in. Reggie says, cool, buddy. Matt says, so do they still do the YouTube call-out races? I don't know if I've seen those lately. I remember they used to do it, but I feel like they were all before the Rona. And then after Rona, or since Rona, I haven't really seen anything happening. Reggie says, I look up to you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Try to set a good example. I do my best. Texas says, is your girl moving with you? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Matt Stang with the emojis. Reggie says, I want to be like you. Well, start wrenching on stuff. That's all I could say. Start wrenching on a bunch of stuff, and don't spend all your money on dumb stuff like I did when I'm younger, and you'll be there in no time. Kind of what I did. I spent a bunch of money, and then I realized I was spending a bunch of money, and then I sold all my expensive stuff that I spent money on, and then I lived like a homeless person for a while. Definitely had to make some sacrifices, and then was able to start buying some cool stuff again, but kind of just what you have to do. I don't know, I think I told you that story. So I ended up, like I had growing up, I had a S2000 that was like complete show car, made like 700 horsepower, and I spent like every penny I ever had on that thing. And then I finished that build, and I kept it. And then I went out and bought this was in 2009, no, 2011, I bought a 2009 Ram 1500 Hemi SLT 4x4. Spent a bunch of money at the time on that. And then I went out and bought a rough country lift kit. I lifted it. I put 35s on it. I put exhaust on it. Like I did all this stuff to it. Put headlights on it. Like fully modded it out. Spent a ton of money on that. And then I had I was probably maybe like 22 or 23 and had like $50,000 in cars and just nonsense. So I sold my truck. I can't remember what I sold it for. And this is like old prices, like prices today aren't even relevant. But anyways, I sold my truck, I sold my car, and I think I put like 50 grand in the bank almost. And then I went out and bought a $1,700 2001 Volkswagen TDI, like a turbo diesel. So I bought that, and I was literally driving around like a $1,700 car that had like 300,000 miles on it, and I was just putting around. And I remember I actually saw my lifted truck, the new owner, drive past me one day while I was sitting in my piece of crap car, and I had a little like emotional moment. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I felt like I was going backwards in life, but I just kept going, kept saving money. Just drove my beater around for like a couple years. I think I drove that car for maybe a year or two, and then I got a newer TDI, a 2006 one. It was a nicer one, but still that car was only like $2,500. It had like engine problems, and then I ended up fixing it, and I drove that for years. That was like one of the best cars I ever drove or bought or owned. And then eventually I only had my TDI. Then I bought that 2014 Ram that you guys saw that we kind of kicked off this channel. That was the next major thing that I bought for like maybe like 5 years. I just saved money. I bought, or actually, let me hold on a second. Let me back up. No, I didn't buy the Ram first. I ended up buying the Viper cash. So there's a good story for you guys. So I ended up driving that piece of crap TDI around. Well, 2 different TDIs, but both, just crappy cars that were not really anything that I would brag about. I drove those around for probably like 5-6 years, and then I saw my dream car, the Viper that you guys see. I saw it for sale on Craigslist in Kentucky, and I ended up calling the guy. We made a deal. He thought I was some sort of scammer, and he kept hanging up on me, and I had to convince him I wasn't a scammer. Anyways, I had to take a gamble, buy the flight, and I flew all the way to Kentucky. The guy still wouldn't even tell me where he lived or nothing. He wanted me to meet him at a gas station because he thought I was some sort of internet scammer. So I took off work. I left. And the reason why he thought I was a scammer is because he's like, oh, okay, well, are you going to arrange, or did you arrange for a trucking company come pick up this car for you? And I was like, no, I'm going to drive it. He's like, what are you talking about? You're going to drive it. I'm like, it's a car. I'm going to drive it. He didn't want me to drive it from Kentucky back to California. And because of that, because I said I was going to drive it, he thought I was a scammer. So he kept hanging up on the phone on me, and I kept calling him over and over and over again, and he kept answering. He was all like grumpy and just giving me attitude and stuff. Finally, I convinced him that I was going to fly out there, flew out there. I took a red eye. This is how crazy I was back then. So I was working full time. I managed to get Thursday and Friday off, and my company was like absolutely brutal with trying to get days off. But I took a red eye Wednesday night. I worked all day Wednesday, took a red eye. Got to Kentucky Thursday morning, rented a car, drove out to the middle of nowhere in Somerset, Kentucky. It was like 2 hours. I had to find a rental company that would let me take a car one way. And this guy still wouldn't tell me where to meet him. He made me meet him at a gas station. Sure enough, I drive to the gas station, and the car is sitting there. So, and then once he meets me, he talks to me for 5 minutes. He kind of calms down, realizes I'm like a legit dude or whatever. And yeah, I made the deal and drove all the way back to California with the car. And yeah, so I still only had my crappy TDI, and then I had my Volkswagen Jetta TDI. Or sorry, I had my TDI and I had the Viper. And then I bought the 2014 Ram. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how we got on that subject, but long story short, save your money sometimes, and good things will come as long as you keep working hard. Darren says, any events coming up that you're going to soon? Or no, I don't have anything on the calendar just yet. I'm sure there'll probably be some different racing events in the winter that we'll go to, but we don't really have anything competitive at the moment until I figure out the vibration stuff on the Dakota. But I'll be going to some shows and stuff for sure. Just nothing on the calendar as of yet. Do you like the new C8? I think it's all right. I mean, I don't know. I think if the Z06 that they've released is supposed to be what it looks like, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think they could have made the body kit look a little bit different from the Stingray. Usually the base Corvette and the Z06 model look quite a bit different. And Different in the sense that usually the Z06 looks a lot more aggressive, but I don't feel like that with the C8. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Have you heard of Gabe Farrell Productions? I have not. Matt says, I look forward to the future burnout contest in the Hellcat. Yeah. Oh, so here's the other thing, Matt. So not only so again, I'm a complete noob when it comes to, the newer Charger Hellcat stuff or Challenger Hellcat. So a couple things. I still have to edit that footage, but honestly, I was a little bit disappointed with the burnout. I did my best, or the best I could, but you get like only 1 minute, and the thing kept shifting on me. I couldn't figure out why. I kept like using the paddles to put it. I was trying to keep it in like second or third and just bounce off the rev limiter, like most other people would want to do. But I didn't realize two things. One, you have to put it in track mode, and the other thing too is so the actual console shifter, the one that's by the armrest, I left it in drive, and I've never done anything different. But my buddy was telling me you have to toggle it over to manual on the actual console, so you can physically move the actual console shifter over to manual. If you do that and you put it in track mode, then it'll just hold the gear that you're trying to hold. But if you leave it in drive and you leave it in auto on the screen, it's just gonna keep shifting. So that was the problem I had with my burnout. I would like start doing a burnout, and then the thing would start shifting, and I'd look down, and I'm like in 5th gear, and the thing's only doing like 2,500 RPM. I was trying to like make it scream and get a bunch of tire smoke, but live and learn. So now I know. But yeah, next time we'll do a better burnout, but I still gotta edit that footage, see if it looks half decent. Frank says, is there another brand vehicle you're going to use or stick with Dodge Ram only? I do want to build a Mustang drift car. So reason for the Mustang is a few reasons. They're dime a dozen. They make angle kits for them. So they make, and when I say angle kit, if you guys don't know, I'm new to it as well, but what it does is they make like different suspension kits so that the front wheels can turn like pretty much like my hands. Like you can almost turn them 90 degrees. So when you're drifting, you don't just spin out. You can actually, drift when you have the front wheels able to turn a lot more. So they make angle kits for Mustangs so that you can actually, use that platform as a drift vehicle. And then the third reason I wanted to do a Mustang is you can, where was I going with that? The third reason is I can actually fit the Hemi in it. So it's made for a dual overhead cam engine. So I could actually fit the 5.7 Hemi in it. So that's what I wanted to do. They're dime a dozen. They sell angle kits for it. If I smack it off the wall, I can just get another one and put all my stuff back on it. And the engine bay is wide enough that I could actually fit the 5.7 Hemi that we have and put that to good use. Plus, it would make a bunch of Ford guys mad, and I think it would be fun. Oh, let me catch up to you guys in the comments real quick. Let's see. Ronald says, how much space do you have with the 18-inch Viper wheels on the rear of the Dakota? Are they 10.5 wide? I don't know what you mean by space. Yeah, they're 10.5 wide, but like, what do you mean by space? Like on the inside, between the fender and the outside, it's like wheel gap. Cynthia says, I have a 1998 Dakota Sport. It idles or dies on me randomly when I stop. Any suggestions on what could be going on? That almost sounds like what the other guy's going on. I would do a full tune-up first. Plugs, wires, cap and rotor, just the basics, and then go from there. Matt Sang says, Hellcat swapped station wagon. I don't know about that just yet. Like I said, Mustang drift build with a 5.7. Single cab Ram Hellcat. That's kind of the other one. And then I want to put that new Viper swap in my Viper, and then we'll figure out what we're going to put the Viper swap that's in my car now, what we're going to put that in next. So those are kind of the ideas I'm tossing around at the moment. Flockatron. Have you ever seen a twin charge turbo and supercharged V8? Yeah, actually, whatchamacallit has it. Why am I drawing a blank right now? The YouTuber, the big YouTuber. Weston Champlin, he's got one. His Hellcat is turbocharged and supercharged. The XO says Cynthia could be a few things. Vacuum leaks, sensor problem. Yeah. So yeah, XO is on the right track too. Ricochet says crazy Viper owners. You should meet Kyle Bennett. That's true. He has the highest horsepower NA Gen 3 Viper in the country. Engine done by Calvo. Nice. Kilner. I live in the same city as Archer Brothers of Archer Racing. I've never met them, but I heard they're pretty cool. Nice. Matt says, oh, okay, that makes sense. Now with the shifter and manual, it was awesome nonetheless. My iPhone X isn't the best on videos. Hopefully it was good enough for YouTube maybe. Yeah, I gotta appreciate the videos you actually sent me. I gotta stitch something together here. I completely forgot about that video. I know a lot of guys were asking for it, but I wanted to make it super exciting, but I wasn't trying to blow up my truck either. That's part of the problem with the burnout contest is people want to see brake shit. So I wasn't really prepared to do it, but Texas says, how was that meet with Kevin Van Voorst? It was cool. He's a cool dude. So we actually, I don't know, I met him just briefly for an hour or whatever, but we kind of keep in touch now, which is cool to kind of make friends with, you know, other Mopar people and car enthusiasts. So he seems like a cool dude. Love the SRT10 Ram and the ACR. Love your channel. Love Mopar, bro. Keep it up. Thank you. Starlight says crankshaft position sensor. Could be. Nathan says Hellcat swap single cab 3rd gen Ram. We're going to do a 4th gen Ram. That's our plan. Ronald says the backspace between the tire and the spring or wheel well before it cuts the sidewall open. Yeah, so backspace you're okay with no spacers in the rear. But, I mean, mind you, those wheels have a good offset, right? Whereas I don't think you can necessarily do that on all wheels. So you have to have the correct offset, not just the width. But yeah, I'm good on clearance between the spring and the actual rim. Let's see. Cynthia says I've done plugs and wires. Did you check the cap and rotor though too? I would inspect those at least. Not, you don't necessarily have to throw parts at it, but I would inspect those. Matt says the regular cab full-size Dodge will be pimped with the Hellcat swap in it, or Hellcat swap in it, lowered on 5.7 drop it like it's hot. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. So I'm thinking. On the real, you need to come to Texas 2K with us in March. Going to be like, yeah, I'll probably end up making it out there because like I'm going to be relocated out that way, so it'd be easier for me to get to. So I'm thinking that might actually happen. But all right, guys, I'm gonna cut this live right around here. I think we've done well with the other live stream we did. I'm like an hour and a half deep on this. I'm gonna get some dinner. I'm also gonna hit the gym, and I want to wake up in the morning and get that SRT10 content wrapped up for you guys so I can deliver that video to you guys. So might do another live this weekend as well. I'll kind of maybe sporadically do some lives and stuff like that, but a lot more content on the way. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up before you take off if you haven't already. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next video.